growth is like really like exhausting, really tiresome because like let's say like you're like out of like 100% of the growth, and that's kind of how you want to like take it. It'll feel like you're at like 17 or like 19%. We'll say like 19. You feel like you're at like 19% of growing into the person that you like see yourself being in your mind and the person you want to be. And it'll be like months will go by, and you'll only go from like 19 to like 20. And then that shit'll like piss you off because it's like, yeah, you feel and you kind of notice the growth you've gone through and the growth you have, but then you'll be just tired, and then you'll have to really like be laying in that bed and be thinking, like, yes, I did grow. Like, yes, there was growth in this process that I'm in right now, but it literally took forever just to reach that point. And that's cool. That'd be cool, but you'll be thinking like you need to grow and hit that 100% before you can like tackle certain things, and then you'll realize like something that happened in the past will happen again in the present, and you'll realize when you're in that situation that you really only needed, that 1% to like navigate that same situation. And when you navigate that same situation, you'll be like, oh, like there's gonna be a lot more shit I have to like kind of like understand and learn and all that stuff, which is fine. But I feel like it's just with the whole growth thing, it's like the constant like growing pains you have to go through. Like I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, like I was still going through certain growing pains, and even then it was like fucking awful. Like this shit is just like it just be like, yo, life fucking sucks because of certain shit you going through, because you didn't experience those things around a time where a lot of other people may have experienced it, like maybe in like middle school or high school, or maybe they experienced it in college but you didn't go to college. So it's like you kind of have to experience it just out in the real world, which is like a weird way to put it, but like out in the real world as an adult, even though like you're an adult in college, but like you kind of catch my drift. It just be like, fuck, like how much more of this shit do I have to go through before like I get to that point that I kind of feel like I want to be at, like whether it's like with social dynamics and like career and like the job and like hobbies, and like how do I like when do I reach that point, like how long is this shit gonna take? And then you finally keep growing and you keep on trying to put yourself in that position, and then you only go from 20 to 21%, and it's been like 2 years, and it's like, yeah, like growth is cool no matter if it's slow or not, but at a certain point it's like, am I really growing though? And I feel like that's the point where a lot of people get stuck with, and then they kind of stop doing the things that allow them to grow, like going to the gym consistently, or keeping up with their own hobbies, and keeping themselves regulated, and just doing things that like keep yourself cool, like cool, because you're not going to be around somebody a lot, you're really going to be alone a lot. And that's another thing to realize too, especially with the whole growth thing, is like you kind of realize like I'm gonna be more alone if anything, like until you like move in with like somebody maybe, or even if like you move in with like a significant other to the point where it's like you're like sharing a room and a bed with them, you kind of peep like, oh, like I'm gonna be like really alone, I'm gonna be by myself for a while until I get to that point, until I reach that point with somebody or whatever the case may be. And then you kind of just realize like this growth thing, like I have to be very, and I always say the whole intentional thing with the having a strong intention with what you want in life and who you want to be in life. But especially when it comes to growing as a person, you have to be really intentional and consistent. Like the consistent, like you might desire something, but you have to be consistent in working on what it is that you would desire, and working towards that and growing towards that direction. You know, it's real. It's a slippery slope because once you get that 21% to 22, it's like you feel even more exhausted, and sometimes it feels like it doesn't even work. But I think what's important is to always remember that, you know, feeling that uncomfortable feeling and getting through that, I feel like that's a good sign of knowing that, you know, you're growing in the right direction. In that sense, I feel like it's a good sign. But yeah, that growing shit is like really tiresome. It's exhausting. But I think recognizing the exhaustion is also how you kind of tell that, you know, whatever you're doing, it's working, just slowly, very, very, very slowly. But that's all I got for today. Hope y'all easy. Hope y'all ate. Hope y'all drank some water, even if it was tap. But yeah. Whew. Be breezy.